right, today we talked about describing how deserts, rivers, mountains, coastline, and even moors affect the population in terms of where people live, the type of work they do, and how they travel. So the first scenario that we gave today was describe someone who lives along the Tigris River in Turkey. So tell us about their lives.
Someone who lives along the Tigris River in Turkey would most likely either be a fisher, a lumberjack, a hunter, or a forest ranger. They would most likely have access to clean water. They would be in good health because they have access to the clean water, and they would most likely either drive a car or a boat.
Okay, very good. All right. So the next one is describe someone who lives along the Mediterranean Sea in Israel.
They would possibly, most of them, be work as fishermen or something to do with the ocean or the ocean life. They would have an easy supply of water if they desalinated it. They would have a higher standard of living, higher literacy rates, so it's just bonus points. They would possibly, they would drive boats or cars.
Okay, good. All right. Third is describe someone who lives along the Persian Gulf in Iran.
Someone that lives along the Persian Gulf in Iran would most likely be fishing or in the oil industry and riding around in boats.
Okay. All right, good. The next one is describe someone who lives in the middle of Saudi Arabia.
Someone who lives in Saudi Arabia would most likely travel by either walking or riding animals such as camels or donkeys. They wouldn't have much food. They might eat plants like cactus, or they might even eat their animals like camels. The population would be low, and their living wouldn't be that great either because they don't have that many resources. And if they, for work, it would most likely be some kind of animal herder.
Okay, very good. All right. The next one is describe someone who lives in the mountains of Kurdistan.
Because of all the rivers, easy access to water, and sorts of business.
Okay, all right. Describe someone who lives in ISIS-controlled territory in Syria.
They don't have freedom, and they would probably drive
Cars.
cars, and they would live in houses.
Okay. But is their life going to be the same as someone else who has freedoms? No. They're probably going to be told how to live, where they're supposed to work, okay, if they can work. All right? Describe someone who lives in a resort in northern Turkey along the Black Sea.
If you live in a resort in Turkey, you would have food, water, pool, and what they want. Jobs could be fishing and boat repair and water, like water chemicals regulating fresh water. They would drive a boat or a car, and that's all.
Okay, good. All right. So the point of this today, guys, was to describe to you and to show to you how living in different parts of the Middle East can be very different from each other. It can be totally it can be totally different in the middle of a desert compared to along a river or another waterway.